Good morning, it's James in here. Let me tell you something. I'm so happy this morning that I have something to smoke, and that the Father who art in heaven, through His Son Jesus Christ, has brought me this far. Yeah. To come against so many of you. That I feel like in Maccabees, in Book 2 of Maccabees, chapter 7, when the king gets very mad at some people who wouldn't eat pork, and he gets the mother and gets their 7 sons and starts to dissect each son while he's alive, and take the skin off his head and cut off his arms and put the pieces into a big frying pan and cook them while he keeps each one alive. It's a great scene. When I read Maccabees there, it was like I don't really like these movies like Saw and these violent things and stuff. I don't even like to look at these images or whatever. And when I read Maccabee, it was like worse than any of the Saw movies or anything I've ever seen or heard about. And now I understand the king. When I listened to Lord Stephen Christ in the response video to Mark Sargent and Jonathan, and I'm not sure who the Jonathan is. I know there's a Jonathan in the concave or the other shape with a big beard like I have and such. I'm not. But anyways, Mark and Jonathan are talking, and it's funny. You have some interesting characters, like this one Stephen Christ. Okay, like I had made a video to him a long time ago when I first heard about him, explaining or asking him or whatever, and explaining my understanding of the hypostatic nature when the Holy Spirit of Jesus Christ is with you. Okay, and to understand that hypostatic nature, okay, and how it connects you to the Most High. And I didn't get a response back. And he takes it very personally about him being the Lord here on earth, and that there is no question for him. Okay? So his position as not vicar, but being the Lord, I won't get into it. I won't say too much. I take that back. I'm not going to say so much. But he says he is the Lord, and it's a very interesting concept because he speaks so much truth. But like the way he has taken it upon himself, which is a natural thing that can happen, he's in a box. He's like the Lord. He's like the Lord of the McDonald's. You know, like they have play areas. You know, when you go to McDonald's or these things, they have little play things for your kids to go play, so it's safe. You know, it's like the kids can't get hurt there. Little round, soft plastic things. Okay. He's like the guy who's in charge of there. He's the guy who's in charge in case like a metal chair falls over and goes into the play area. You have Lord Stephen Christ now in the movement. And it's interesting to see, like, I think like about 2 days ago or something, this flat earther Jesse Spots, who I thought professed to be a Christian, goes on about attacking someone telling the truth. Okay, Eric Dubé, and saying he must be shut down. I made a video that day saying the flat earth truth movement is dead, it's over, and these words are coming true. You're going to see these words come true. And it's too bad. It's too bad for someone like Patricia Steer, who I feel is being handled because this is a Most High operation going on here. And if you are listening, Patricia Steer, I don't think you're a paid agent. And I don't think you're any type of a conscious agent. I may be wrong, and I have been fooled before, certainly by women. Certainly by women. Before I got into the conspiracy, I've been fooled by women. And the code is in me to get fooled. They put code in me about women. Like, I can be driving a car on the highway and even going, 50 miles an hour or whatever. And if there's like the shape of a woman, anywhere within like 70 yards of the highway or something, even if it's like partially obscured behind a tree or going into a house that there's a certain shape, I can see it. If I want it, I can see if I want to go get that thing and eat it. That hunting, that original code, that high archon code of what is beauty and what you like and what you need, that's put in you to attract man to woman. So I've been fooled by woman. But I'm not saying I'm being fooled by you. But I do want to say, your live radio shows are very attractive. And there's an attractive nature, an extra dimension that's put into YouTube and Google Hangouts by these chat rooms. Okay, although they're a little bit dangerous, but I always felt an attractive nature to live broadcasts. And I like your live broadcasts, and I could almost see your live broadcast morphing into a bit. Where, almost like a Tonight Show. And Mark is your Ed McMahon. And you have to become more like a Judge Judy, I think, or whatever. Okay, and maybe have a couple of guests come on. and don't do things like you did to David Weiss the other day. But the more important thing is about the way you put out a contact for your live show with the Twitter and G+, and you change your YouTube profile so when you go to your homepage you don't see your activity. So if you're a YouTube user, it's very hard to find out you're doing a live broadcast. Because it doesn't come out on your activity list anymore. So, and you quote your time in Central Time Zone. That's a foolish thing, girl. You may move or whatever, but the broadcasting that, you grow wheat and you hang out with the NASA boys. You're in NASA town, girl. You're in NASA town. It's one of the home of pedophile and satanic cult blood ritual. But so to apply a more consistent time, if possible, to your shows, that evening slot hour I think is interesting. But a consistent time, when you do quote your time, quote it in Eastern Standard Time in general. This thing with the Central Time Zone, people don't know if that's on the backside of the moon or whatever. People don't understand about whatever, the Midwest being in Houston. But more importantly, like I don't know if these new apps, WhatsApp, I'm not saying, but like a consistent notification mechanism. But or open up that YouTube thing again. And on your YouTube profile, in the description box of your YouTube videos, you should have your Facebook, your Twitter information, all these informations there. And a couple of standard references of people, introductory, links. Should be published in a standard manner. So if someone sees your things, there's a little packet of information, a business card, and information there, which is more consistent packaging of your social media enterprises. But not to get lost too much on you, Miss Steer, because there's like, you can see the bloodbath or whatever that's happening in the mesh, and that's happening now with, let me just put one little clip here to illustrate the point that I'm trying to make here with Stephen.
It's
And I do like Mark, although Mark was a paid shill for the high gamers. He was in the game before. But Mark, I don't find to be untruthful. I like Mark, and I like his approach to it. Maybe there's things he knows differently, whatever he's not saying, but a lot of people like to attack him.
really intricate and complex. Yeah. Again, I'm done with my rant. I've got...
It doesn't have to be intricate and complex. All you have to do is see me as Lord. Concave Earth,
Okay, so that was Mark, an excerpt from Mark that Stephen was responding to. So Stephen wants to be Lord of the McDonald's jungle gym. And I say he should be. I agree with Lord Stephen Christ. He is Lord of the jungle gym at McDonald's. Let them play with their little plastic balls and do different things and such like that. Right now you have the Hegelian dialectic coming out in the Kierkegaardian garden. Okay? We have excellence here in PsyOps right now. This is excellence. We have excellence in PsyOps now. In this little movement here, okay? You know, in this little movement here, okay? It's not about truth. It's not about truth. It's not about guidance. It's about who's the Lord. And the question should not be, I'm the Lord or you're the Lord. The question should be, Lord of what? Lord of what? This McDonald's jungle gym? Well, which who's going to be the YouTube neo-priest? Okay? To determine when to release the blue balls into the bounce about. Who's going to determine how many blue balls go into the bounce about? It must be Lord Stephen Christ. Will Mark be his sergeant? And will Miss steer the people to them and lead the people to them? Will Miss Steer lead the people with the sergeant to the Lord and determine how many blue balls, yellow balls, red balls go into the jungle gym bounce about? Now, Stephen says that he's the Lord and he's not going to give any interview. That's fine. If you understand, our Lord Jesus Christ was very happy to go even into the taxpayer's house where they had orgies and everything to talk to them, much less to be interviewed by Pontius Pilate. And Stephen is there admonishing these other guys, Jonathan, you have to lose your ego now. You have to lose your ego now. It's time for you to lose your ego, Jonathan, what you've talked about, and come to the Lord. And let me count the blue balls first. But the thing is, Stephen is right. I'm not saying he's wrong. Stephen is right. He is the Lord. He's in charge of the jungle gym now. He is the man. Okay? He's got the rectilinear post. He's got the rectilinear post. And he's right about flat Earth being a stepping stone to concave. He's right. But the thing is, he doesn't want you to go past concave. He has nothing more than this. Wait till these hands get a little bit bigger and you see the e-begging. For what? What's he going to do? He wants better training for dogs to help people in their senior citizen home so they can have dog partners when they get old and lonely. What's this about? Because, Stephen sees that there's no proper leader in the Flat Earth movement. The Flat Earth movement, there's no Lord. Yeah. Because the Flat Earth is really just, they've been collecting, old McDonald's. When you finish your food at McDonald's and the wrappers is empty, they've been collecting those empty wrappers and putting them together. So, at the end, Stephen says something. He says, come to concave, everything is proven as long as you understand that light bends. He just says that, light bends. Here we come with another type of, these pieces of logic. Okay? He just says light bends. Yeah. Is it? Am I doing one of these Masonic things? This is that guy from that movie, that little bald mini-me or something. I think he used to do that and say things. But so you understand that the concept of light bending, you're talking about ascension consciousness. You're talking about the McDonald's franchise, the big McDonald's franchise that trains franchise operators, and they purchase land and they lease out things, and how they train and supply all the goods. You're talking about the big thing now. So we're just going to say light bends. So these guys will stay on the farm. They will keep in charge of the jungle gym. All flat earthers are going to end up in the jungle gym farm of McDonald's. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm. And you're going to get fucked on it. Yeah. When judgment comes, you'll be fucked on it. I'm going to tell you something. In my own personal experience, I am the most high light worker. I've done very high light work here, on earth. Real things. Documented extreme sun gazing. Well, I would look into the sun with binoculars and burn the cornea off of my eye, and documented this. And documented going into Columbia Medical Encyclopedia and how it was a Freemason operation, what they wrote about the eye and everything. So when you hear in the Bible there's a phrase about the scales coming off of your eyes, I can testify to that and document it. I am one such, where the scales have come off of my eyes. And I have different things here where I have parabolic dishes with broken mirror in it, and have examined sunlight and moonlight. Moonlight is most attractive when you see moonlight gathered into this and you phase conjugated back into a point. But different things have happened where I know light's so sentient, but let me tell you about light rays and what I have examined. At nighttime, I've been able to examine this with this big dish. When it's cool and it's not windy and different things, and some sunlight or moonlight or even street light, or even I would put flashlight and different electric lights in the dish and use it backwards. So instead of collecting energy, I was now putting the source of the light, my own, with the LNB, or I was getting something from the moon or a street light. And it would reflect back. Okay? And the mirror was, the satellite dish was hanging from a rope, so it would revolve in the wind, it would move. Now I could see at different times when the mirror would turn and you get a reflection off of the mirror and it comes to you. I could see light rays, I could see individual rays, off of smaller pieces of light, like you might see like just a few rays, like under 12 or 15 or something. The rays come off of the mirror, that piece of light, and come to me. Now, when they did that, they would come off of the mirror, and you would see them, it looked like they would twist once. It looks like they come off, and they do a little move, and then they say, all right, get back in order, and let's go. There was a twist in the light rays. And there's another experiment which I've experienced. I wouldn't really call it an experiment, but I've experienced it. And then I saw a guy on YouTube do it. Okay? And I think this was part of maybe he's AI entrained to take stuff off of me. He's Greenhouse, it was Greenhouse something, and he does a lot of work with Fresnel lenses. Fresnel lenses do something like these parabolic mirrors that I'm talking, when I make a parabolic shape and put the broken mirror in it. But I had, for whatever, I ended up in my life with like big sheets of broken mirror. You know, like when you buy mirror in a 4x8 sheet. And this is what happens. If you take like, let's say you have a piece of mirror that's broken in a shape like a square, a triangle, and you know, a rectangle, or some long, different broken shapes. And you shine the light on them, and then shine that light onto an object, which is, at close, or some, within, I don't know, close, like within 10 yards or 10 feet or something. I don't know all the details. You will see the shape of the broken mirror. Will be reflected. As you go away further, like if you get like 30 yards away, or some place 20 yards away maybe even, you're going to get the round shape. The round shape comes back of the light source. There's something very sentient in light. And there's something very sentient in all of creation. Now these guys at McDonald's are arguing about the borders. The one guy says the border's flat. He says there's no curve. The other guy says there's a curve. You know, it's like you're in a parking space. There's a curb in front of you, but there's none over there. These guys are just in a Kirkhardian garden. And they're arguing over who is the chief Pharisee of the rabble in McDonald's. And I agree, it's Lord Stephen Christ. Flat Earth is over. Lord Stephen Christ is the Lord of the McDonald's jungle gym. And it's too bad he doesn't realize that any power that's given to him, okay, to be the Lord, is given to him because it's authorized by above. And the focus of anything should be more upon who is above. Who are our creators? Who are they? And what is our relationship? And that type of a thing. Not over the borders and how many balls are in the jungle gym. What color are the blue balls? Or how? Yeah, even you're going to have to determine what color blue your ball's going to be. You know, and while those jobs need to be done, you don't have to make a kingdom about it. You don't have to make a kingdom about your blue balls in the jungle gym. But this is the rabble, and this is what people don't understand when it comes to governing, and doesn't understand the difference between control and guidance. You know? And while Stephen Christ is admonishing these other people for wanting to be leaders and wanting to make money, like, what's the matter with that? Like, I don't have a problem with people making money off of their videos, and if they want to have a commercial, though it can be annoying, but I think YouTube is incredible for you not paying anything. And people who complain too much or whatever, they better be righteous in their complaints. But you have Lord Stephen Christ complaining about these other people for wanting to become a leader and organize people and to make some money if they can. And he's been involved in some shady operation which looks like I'm pretty sure Stephen Christ is AI entrained to the near-Earth CIA machine. And what we're seeing here is the heights. We're seeing the heights of the Hegelian dialectic being played in this Kirkhardian context. This is the height of the Mossad Jesuit operation, of the revelation, okay, of this deception. And the deception is high. The deception is high. But the deception should, quickly be moving into Christopher Columbus, the crypto Jew, who already, how did he know that Christopher Columbus knew things? They had maps back then that were like stolen from Solomon or different things. So really discerning through this veil, okay? Discerning that 9/11. You see, once you discern through the veil, this is what they don't want you to do. Like, they don't want you to discern that 9/11 was a very complex affair involved with the two AIs, the two masters of veils. That the dustification of those buildings, how the buildings came down in New York City, was done by a direct energy technology that was harnessed off of Hurricane Evan, which is done by the Most High Cabal. That's how they do things. They do big things like that, like they did at the Tower of Babel, and make earthquake happen in terraformers. These are our Most High creators and terraformers. And that this, whether the Cabal knew about it through hacking, or I think these things are notified to humanity, okay, at this time. But obviously the Cabal knew about 9/11. They knew that the Most High was going to strike those buildings down, and they prepared this terrorist action to cover it. Okay? This is what I have discerned. The Waco fertilizer factory, okay, was an admonishment, was a strike from the Most High. It wasn't just a hurricane. There was an actual light missile or something that was discerned on video. Okay? These strikes happened. The Charlie Hebdo affair at the Delicatessen, that was a strike by the Most High. Okay, now what happened at the magazine I can't fully testify to. But when strikes from the Most High happen, then they stage out. Then they put fake terrorists or fake things on the thing and put out fake video of guys shooting into the concrete with blanks or whatever. Okay, and then you discover fake evidence, and you either fall for it or you discover fake evidence, and then you say, hey, I discovered fake evidence, it all must be fake. This is where they get all the people. Once you discover their high plot to obscure the truth, you deny the truth then, regardless of whether what happened is the truth or not. They did it in Transasia, they do it all around the place. Transasia was another example of Most High intervention into an incident in saving that plane. And the initial episode of Supergirl on the TV series reveals exactly what happened and shows you. It shows you. And I saw it. I saw a video from the other side of the river where you could see a light being or light ship come flying up the river and get to, go to the ship in the video while the plane is coming down. Right when it's coming over there. So, we have high things, there's very high things. And God bless everybody, the good and the bad. And it's really interesting to see my words come true. This is Jem Zen. Bless her from wherever I am.